Hey, all my rock star teachers and homeschool parents. I am super excited that you're here because I've heard so many people who want to come on and do this writing challenge, and that just makes me so happy. I'm going to give you a few minutes to hop on, so why don't you go ahead on the comments and let me know who's here and how much time do you have for writing? We're going to talk about that today. How much time does your district or your school give you for writing? Let's light up those comments. I want to hear from everybody. I know some of you are still in school, and that's why we're just going to leave this up here so that everyone can come back on and take a look and get some great ideas. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and get started because I know that your time is valuable, and I just want this to be simple anyway. So what we're going to do is do a whole week-long challenge with just very simple little tips for you to try in your classroom this week. They're going to be simple tips, simple strategies, and you can just implement them right away, and we can talk about it. That's why I decided to do this on a Facebook group, because that way we can talk about it, and you can share what you've done in your classroom, and maybe somebody else can get some great ideas from that as well. So what we're going to do today is talk about time. I know that some of you came here from social media where I talked about more than 30 million adults cannot write above a third grade level. And that just makes me so sad because we all need that, you guys. We all need to be teaching writing. And I know firsthand that there are students out there who can't write because I worked with a bunch of kids. They were seniors in high school, and they were going on to do their college entrance essays. And so I worked with a big group of them. And I was just shocked at how many of them did not know how to put an essay together. I mean, they were like, what's a strong lead? Or how many paragraphs should I have? Or, you know, I was talking to them about what I call $1 million words, which is word choice. And I was like, you know, you guys need to get a thesaurus out and get some good words in there. And they didn't know to do that. So it was really, really sad for me to see that. And I was actually teaching 4th grade at the same time that I was working with these students. And I went right back into my classroom and I started to say, okay, this needs to be a priority. We have to make this a priority. So for those of you who don't know me, if there's any first-timers out there, I'm Pam from Rockin' Resources. And obviously, writing is my jam. I just love writing. I'm very passionate about it, and I just kicked it into gear after I worked with those college, soon-to-be college students, and hopefully they're writing good essays in college now. But I really wanted to get that word out there. We need to be teaching writing. That quote that I put on social media about the 30 million, that is from ProLiteracy. And if you go to proliteracy.org, you will see on there that exact same quote. And it's true. Those numbers don't lie, you guys. They do not lie. So we are going to talk, today's problem, like I said, is students can't write and that we need to make writing a priority. So talking about time. How much time do you have in the classroom? I know some of you have told me that you do have that 60 minutes, which I think is fabulous. If you have 60 minutes to teach writing, we would not have this problem. But I also heard from people who had 15 minutes to teach writing, or their writing was grouped in with their language arts block, and they just had too much to do with reading that there wasn't any time for writing. Or I had some teachers who were just not confident in teaching writing, so they kind of put it off. And I kind of was there at one point in time, so I understood that a little bit. But what we need to do is really focus on putting that time into writing instruction. Now, I know some of you, and I know because we've talked about this, and I've talked to a lot of teachers and homeschool parents about this, so this is nothing new, and I'm not calling anybody out. But I know that some of you said, well, I just give them a prompt and let them go at it. Or, I go ahead and put writing in my writing center and they work on it on their own, and then I look over it, and then, we go from there. Well, that's great. At least you're doing some kind of writing. Okay, that's okay. But we really need to focus on writing instruction. Writing instruction. They need to have those tools so that they can be successful in writing. So how can we do that? Especially for those people who say, I have 15 minutes, or I just don't have time because I have all the reading to do, okay? Now, those of you who have 60 minutes for writing and you're thinking, okay, this isn't for me, yes, stay on here because I'm going to talk about that too. So those 15-minute people, okay, take a simple little mini lesson. A simple little mini lesson. 15 minutes is plenty of time for a mini lesson, okay? So, like, I can prove that to you. So, I just finished doing these mini lesson videos for my course that I have. I did little student videos so that when the teacher, needed some time off for the day, or a substitute, or a homeschool mom, they needed that instruction part and they just weren't happy with, what they were doing themselves, they can pop on a little video. Well, none of those videos, well, maybe one, like the $1 Million Words I spent a lot of time on, but the rest of them are all under 5 minutes long. So there you go, 5 minutes, 5-minute lesson, and that included modeling too. So what you need to do is just make that time. Look at your planning. Look at some long-term planning and what mini lessons you can build in. And if you go to rockinresources.com, I have lots of blogs about that, and I talk about time. I talk about the lessons and what order you should put them in. So you can go on rockinresources.com and find, I have a writing series blog, and it tells you that order. So then you'll have that already planned out. And if you take that simple little time each day for that instruction, your students are just going to blossom, I promise you. Now, for those people who already have 60 minutes, you're like, oh, what am I going to get out of this? Okay, well, you definitely want to use that instruction time. I want you to be able to go in and take your time with them, to give them that anchor chart, give them some mentor text, do some modeling. Modeling is so important. Besides the anchor charts and the simple instruction, modeling comes right up there with it because the students need to see the writing. They need to see it in action. So I would love for you to be able to at least fit in a little instruction and some modeling so that they can see exactly what they need to do. So those people with 60 minutes, you're going to do that. And then you're also going to do some practice. So say you are working on word choice. You're going to do some practice. Give them some task cards. Have them work together and just brainstorm a bunch of words that they can use. That will definitely help. And then you're going to work on the application part. You're going to have them apply their writing. And that's when you guys talk about, oh, well, we just do that in Writing Center. Take that 5 little minutes for the instruction, and then you can use your Writing Center. You can do the writing, the application part, or you could do the note-taking part if you're doing the interactive notebooks or something like that and you want them to have notes. Use that time. Use that time for the notes or that time for them to apply what they've learned. But take that 5 minutes of instruction time to make sure that they're understanding that mini lesson. And you can do it in little chunks. So the people who just have 15 minutes or say I can't fit it in, you do it in little chunks. So one little mini lesson. You would do one mini lesson on pre-writing. Then you would move on to what you're going to do with your introduction, and then what you're going to do with your body, and flow through. So you have that order, like I said, on my writing series blog, you can find the order, and you have that order, and you just chunk them through. Just do one little lesson at a time, and voila, when you're all done with all those lessons, they'll have this great essay, and you will be so happy with it too. Because even though we talked about how you use that for reading or whatever, that's your reading time. Well, you want them to be able to respond to your reading. You want them to be able to write in complete sentences. You want them to be able to write essays, especially if you're getting tested. And those people out there who say, well, I don't teach writing because we don't get tested in that grade level. Well, that's doing a disservice to the grade level who needs that help. If everybody took the time to do these little mini lessons throughout the year, and each grade level did that, when they got to be seniors in high school, they would not be struggling the way I saw some of those students struggle. They would be able to write a paper and write it effectively. So we need that time. So how can you get that time? I told you how to use your time, but now let's talk about how to get that time. Go to your administration. Tell them that you need help putting that into your block. Where do you need help? I mean, your principal wants to see, they want you to be successful. So go to them, talk to them, say, okay, I want to put this writing time in here, but my language arts block looks like this, and they will help you. I'm sure of it. And if not, you know what, get a buddy and talk about how to put it in, because you need to have that time. If you need some fuel for the fire to talk to your principal, go to RogandResource.com, because my latest blog post talks about all of those things. It talks about how we need time. And it talks about, I put a bunch of different quotes that I found out, a bunch of statistics that are just shocking. And the principals and the administration, the state, and the people up at the state level, they need to know these things, because writing needs to be a priority. It's pretty sad when a senior cannot write a college entrance essay and really, really struggle for it. So my simple little challenge for you is to go and see where you could put in that time. And if you already have the time, see how you're going to do your writing instruction. How are you going to put that together? Did you do any long-term planning? So I would love to hear from you. And like I said, I'm going to keep this up here. And that way, you know, we can talk about it. If you're not, I know we're going to save this video and send it out to people who are not on Facebook. And that's okay too. I just want everyone to be able to participate in this challenge, because we've had lots of people say that they were interested. So I would love to hear from you and see how it's going. And I'm going to give you a little tip each day. So I would like you to come back tomorrow, because we're going to have another little simple challenge. And by the end of the week, all these little things will be in place, and you will be on your way to rock out that writing. All right. So that's basically all I have for today. I told you it was going to be simple, and I hope you come back.